appreciated his guidance.
Mr. Mayor and Council, and I can't say enough about the folks in the audience tonight. Every one of you, I look around and every one of you has been a part of my life. You know, you're in this business and it's a tough business. We all kind of know what it is, and we know the sacrifices that are made. But in the past, I've had a hard time getting through things, so I wrote some things down tonight. I talked to the mayor. He put me on a 7-minute limit, and I tested it, and it will go to 7 minutes. But this might be, I may not get this chance again. That's why I didn't want to adjourn the meeting, because I knew I could at least take a little bit of privilege here. But 27 years ago, in 1985, I was elected to the Clarksburg City Council. It was not a resounding victory, as I was only ahead by 13 votes at the end of the night, and the 5th place candidate, Jack Skinner, requested a recount. Needless to say, I did not have a victory party that night and wondered if the margin of victory would stand up. Fortunately, I gained 13 more votes and was sworn into council on July 1st, 1985. The city was a little bit ragged in 1985. The city manager's office had dark wood paneling and one of the ugliest shag carpets that looked like something out of Happy Days. There were no cell phones, no desktop computers, and in order to receive a fax, we had to go across the street to Mountain State Travel Service, and they would prepare a copy of our faxes for the city of Clarksburg. It was fun, but every day seemed to bring a new challenge. Floods, factory closings, and a downtown that was fast disappearing were only a few of the challenges we faced. The city worked hard to get its financial house in order and began to slowly rebound. East Point and New Point were taking shape, and the FBI announced the new $200 million building with over 2,000 jobs. We passed a $37 million school bond, and the new Robert C. Byrd High School was built. President Clinton came to town for an education summit. A new city hall was planned and constructed. New fire stations and a new public works center were finished. The Caperton Center and the GSA building, now the Derek Hudson-Pillar building, gave life to a struggling downtown. New fire trucks, police cars, and regular pay raises were all accomplished with modest increases in taxes and fees. I've served on the Clarksburg City Council the majority of my adult life. I've attended over 1,000 meetings as a city councilman, and I've served with 25 different council members and 12 different mayors. I've voted on 27 balanced budgets totaling over $250 million. We have demolished over 600 vacant and dilapidated structures, and hundreds of millions of dollars of construction has been completed in the city. The city is in the strongest financial position in the past 30 years, and our staff is better trained and compensated than any time in the city's history. This has been an amazing journey. I've been honored to represent our city as president of the West Virginia Municipal League, president of the National League of Cities, and a member of the World Council of the International United Cities and Local Governments. I traveled with the late Pastor David Cates to Caux, Switzerland, to present a program on how Clarksburg dealt with the Ku Klux Klan. I was honored to be a delegate to the first city diplomacy conference at The Hague in the Netherlands, and stood on the Great Wall of China on a State Department visit to the People's Republic of China. No son of a city of Clarksburg Public Works employee could have dreamed of such a life. That is why I created and funded the Rex Hunt Memorial Scholarship Program to assist city employees in providing a college education for their children. To date, 10 children of city employees have received this scholarship, including several of the employees in the audience tonight. I thank everyone who has traveled this journey with me. I'm indebted to our mayor and my fellow council members and the employees of the city. I want to acknowledge tonight Lisa Dooley, the Executive Director of the West Virginia Municipal League, and her staff, Kathy Burton, Debbie Bias, Tommy Dooley, and Tom Dooley, who traveled here from Charleston this evening. I certainly appreciate that. Former mayor of Morgantown, Bill Byrne, and his wife, Mimi, who is my friend and gave me the incredible opportunity to lead the effort at Sunnyside Up in Morgantown for 5 years. Tom Flynn and Eleanor, who is not with us tonight, Tom's feeling a little bit ill, but Tom and Eleanor became Pam and I's very best friends. Finally, I'd like to thank my wife Pam for her support and love over these years, my mother, who's with us, who gave me the foundation to succeed, my dad, who gave me the love for this city, my daughter Sarah, who is in Nebraska and under 10 inches of snow, and she's watching us on FaceTime. But she was with me on my first day in office, and she stuck with me through many long meetings by developing a great friendship with former city clerk Pat Dean Thelma. My son Jason, who has followed in my steps of public service by serving as a policeman, member of the Honor Guard, member of the SWAT team for the Clarksburg Police Department, and his girlfriend Stacy. My two little angels, Allie and Avery, and Allie led us in the pledge tonight, who really make my life worth living. And my wonderful family, my sisters Diane and Mary, my brother Tom, my son-in-law Matt, and all of my extended family, I just wish you, just thank you so much. And I'd like to close tonight with a reading from my favorite poet, Maya Angelou. I've learned that no matter what happens or how bad it seems today, life does go on, and it will be better tomorrow. I've learned that you can tell a lot about a person by the way he or she handles these three things: a rainy day, lost luggage, and tangled Christmas tree lights. I've learned that regardless of your relationship with your parents, you'll miss them when they're gone from your life. I've learned that life sometimes gives you a second chance. I've learned that you shouldn't go through life with a catcher's mitt on both hands. You need to be able to throw something back sometimes. I've learned that whenever I decide something with an open heart, I usually make the right decision. I've learned that even when I have pains, I don't have to be one. I've learned that every day you should reach out and touch someone. People love a warm hug or just a friendly pat on the back. I've learned that I still have a lot to learn. I've learned that people will forget what you said. People will forget what you did. But people will never forget how you made them feel. Mr. Mayor, I move for adjournment. I've distributed some already, but I want to, I'm like a lot of people, I gather up a lot of books along this journey, and I was putting away some of the books in a cardboard box, and I thought these books will probably never come out again. So I've picked out the books in my library, and I'm going to distribute them to our department heads. And I also have a copy of the book that I wrote a couple years ago called Bottom Line Green, and I have a box, so if you haven't gotten one, I've signed a box of them, and if you're free to take them as long as they hold out. But I do appreciate everybody coming tonight. This has been just a tremendous career, and this city will go on. I told Kathy at dinner, the reason I picked this particular time is I think we have a council right now that can carry on the work. I think the people are in place that can make this city into something we've never seen before. So I just, you guys have a job ahead of you, but I just am so happy to have served with all of you. Thank you very much.
You know, when I first got on council, me and Jim were each a council person one another. And as that's evolved, so much has changed. A few months ago we had a packed out house like this, but it wasn't for Jim, it wasn't for Jim or any else, because we were building a new building across some parties. And Jim started on something, and I didn't know where he was going. So I got really nervous, and I looked at the city manager, and Martin Howe gave me this one. And I had a big question mark on a piece of paper. So afterwards, I said to Jim, Jim, I didn't have any idea where you were. But Jim's voice is so much deeper than mine. He gave me one of those, fancy, I didn't know where I was going. So, and then earlier this year, when I was with Jim and we talked, we grieved over the loss of our dear friend Frank. So, all these years later, you know, Jim's no longer a council person to me. He's someone I'm proud to tell you guys that I am a much better person because of. And I will miss him dearly. Anyone else? Rick?
I'm gonna say a couple things. I talked to you earlier, Jim, and I just, you know, I echo what Patsy said, because I've been here almost 16 years with you. And I know when I first started, I wasn't the crisp or everybody that does me, and really you've taught me a lot in that aspect. Sometimes it's better just to walk away and take a lick instead of trying to beat every battle, because it wears you down more when you do that, believe it or not. And I appreciate you for that, and all the good times we have. It's been up and down, but we worked hard with your leadership, and we'll get Clarksburg in the right direction. And I hate to see you go, but good luck in your new venture. And like I said before, you know, the family gets just as many complaints as the council people. So all your families sitting out here, you know, thank you for letting Jim serve with us all this time. Thank you.
And anytime I had something that I wasn't real familiar with, I'd give Jim a call, or we'd text, and he'd give me the answer. But more importantly, right after I got elected, Jim called me up and we met across the street and had a cup of coffee, and he told me what it was really like to be a council member. So I really appreciate all that information, Jim, and I'm really going to miss. I was teasing you earlier, just as I get in, he's going out. So, but best of luck in everything you do, and I appreciate it.
I stand in the same shoes as Kathy. Well, they're not quite as pretty as Kathy's, but I've only served a short time on council. And one of the very first things I did when I was asked to and then started considering service on city council was to call Jim. And we spent, I know, probably at least an hour or more on the phone. We probably spoke more than once, but I know the first time I talked to him was more than an hour. And after initial reaction of, you know, why would you want to do that? He was very helpful, and since being elected has been very helpful. And Jim understands so many of the nuances of what a city does and what a city council person does and what a good community and city leader does. And I've tried to absorb as many things as I could in the short time we've worked together. But I congratulate Jim for all of his service. It's been a joy working with you, and I was delighted to know that his new company and venture is going to provide free consulting service for the city of Clarksburg for the next 27 years. Good luck.
Well, what can we say about Jim Hunt? 27, 28 years, that's a lifetime for most people. That's tremendous. I'd just like to echo what Gary and Kathy said. When I was campaigning, Jim was up for re-election. And there were many, many people who came to me and said I was just wasting my time. But Jim came to me and said, you know what? You're out there, go for it. So here we are, and it's been such a blessing and an honor to serve with such a man as Jim Hunt. I mean, he has devoted that many years of his life working for this city, and that's just milestones. And you know what, Jim? If I still have a question or need some advice, I'm still going to call you. So, and if you don't answer, I know how to get hold of your wife. Congratulations, and you know, good luck in your new adventure in your life, and I wish you luck.
Jim, you know, we have had 14 years of the most interesting times of service together. We have gone through so many different things together, and I'm going to tell you all, he has taught me one thing that I shall never, ever forget, and that I will forever be grateful. I I mentioned this when we had his 25-year party, and that was, he's taught me what a chit is. You know, I did not know what a chit was, and that that you have to gather your chits in life to move on sometimes in the political world. But I learned what a chit was. But Jim, I did bring you a small gift, and I'm worried about you. And
I'm worried about you.
I'm worried about you for the future, that we're not gonna be here to always help you through things, because we have helped him through many things in life. So I found this, and I wanna give this to you, and then I'll explain it, if you go ahead and open it.
Go ahead and explain that.
Yeah. This is so that you will always be able to see clearly into your future. I love you guys. Hey, good luck. Good luck.
Jim, about 7.5 years ago when I became city manager, it was a great opportunity for me, and that first year of myself being city manager, we had a lot of meetings together over that first year, and I greatly respect everything you told me throughout my tenure here, and I look to you as a mentor, and I've learned a lot from you, and I greatly appreciate everything you provided for me. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Well, what can I say? I cried, I begged, I pleaded for him not to leave.
That was the lunch.
And I did it for several days since he's announced that he's going to be leaving us, but he has been here since I've been here, and I've been here 16.5 years, and he has been a blessing to me. And I did not have a clue about being a city clerk when I came, and he has taught me so many things, and he has just been, a great person and a dear friend, and we're going to miss him dearly. And I told him in an email, I said, it's really bittersweet, because I'm so happy that he gets to do what he wants to do, and he's great at doing what he wants to do, is being a consultant and helping others, but we're going to miss him.
Thank you.
Better not be expensive, I got a damn lollipop.
It's not Windex either.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. Thanks, everybody. And I know on a night like this, there's so many people here, and if we started to introduce, we'd end up missing a lot of important people, but I do want to say, and you can look around this room, this is the direction of Harrison County and Central West Virginia. This is when folks from Bridgeport, the county government, Shinston, Nutterfort, Stonewood, Morgantown, Fairmont, this is the way that you grow a community and a region. So for everyone, I know we'd leave someone out, but like I said, this is just really gratifying for our region also to know that we're on a good track. Last thing I'll say is, if you haven't driven by the Clarksburg Aquatic Center, this will be, without question, this building is a beautiful building. But what we're going to do for children in this community with that aquatic center, it will benefit every person's community in this room. It is just unbelievably beautiful. John Cooper's done a tremendous job. But, I just want to ask, and while I still have the mic, please invite me to that first day, because this will be something that changes this region. Drive by there and look at it from Milford Street and whatever. It is absolutely fantastic. Thank you so much. Let's eat some cake.
Short
shorter than the ones you write. I'm going to ask the governor to do mine in the future. But let me read this proclamation from the State of West Virginia Office of the Chief Executive. Greetings, be it known that Councilman Jim Hunt is hereby awarded the Certificate of Appreciation for 27 years of dedicated and outstanding service to the Clarksburg City Council and the citizens of the great state of West Virginia. Given under my hand and the seal of the state of West Virginia, the print on this is very small. The whatever day of December, it says 31st day of December, we jumped the gun a little bit, but that's when that's when Jim officially retires. 31st day of December in the year of our Lord 2012, signed Earl Ray Tomlin, Governor of the state of West Virginia.
What's that cake?
Yeah.